Every truck brand sells reliability. But when a mechanic spends their own money on a pickup, the one in their driveway, not a customer's, that is a different conversation. Out of every model on the market, only 4 will not betray them. Not because they never break. Because when they do, the fix is predictable, affordable, and well documented. What separates those 4 starts with what mechanics see under the lift every day. Mike Harper's boots hit the shop floor at 7:15 in the morning, same as they have for the last 20 years. By noon, he has already seen the day's first pattern, a Tacoma in for a routine oil change, a Tundra with a squeaky rear bushing, a Ridgeline with a faint coolant smell, each one a familiar story. Harper does not trust glossy brochures or sales pitches. What matters is what shows up on his lift, week after week. Some trucks come in for the same problem at the same mileage with the same worn part. Others just keep rolling, needing little more than brakes, fluids, and the occasional belt. Mechanics like Harper do not call a truck reliable because it never fails. That is a myth. Instead, it is about knowing what will go wrong, when it will happen, and how much it will cost to make right. For failure is predictable, affordable, and there is a well-documented fix. It is just part of the job. The real trouble starts when a truck surprises you an obscure electrical gremlin, a transmission that grenades with no warning, or a part that is back-ordered for months. Those are the trucks mechanics avoid, even if they look good on paper. In the back office, Harper's repair orders stack up by model and mileage. He knows which trucks will need a new oil pump at 120,000 miles, which ones will rot their frames in salty winters, and which ones will make it to 400,000 miles with only minor headaches. He is not alone. Across the country, thousands of mechanics keep mental scorecards, trusting patterns over promises. That is why, when it comes time to spend their own money, the decision is made long before any poll or spreadsheet. It is written in the shop's daily rhythm, in the trucks that keep coming back or do not. Out in the real world, reliability is not just a hunch. It is measured by what happens after years on the road and tens of thousands of miles. That is where the mechanic forums step in. In January 2021, ToyotaTacoma.org ran a poll, but it was not open to every weekend warrior. Mike Harper, one of the site's veteran moderators, set strict ground rules. You had to own the truck for at least 3 years, put more than 50,000 miles on it, and never have needed a major powertrain repair. 4,112 votes made the cut. The same month, FordTruck.com launched its own poll, this time under the watch of Laura Ortiz, a lead tech with 18 years of shop experience. She added a twist. Respondents also reported their annual maintenance costs, giving a clearer picture of what ownership really looks like. Both polls filtered out short-term owners and anyone who had already replaced a transmission or engine. It is a high bar. Out of all the trucks discussed, only 4 models consistently landed at the top: Tacoma, Tundra, Ridgeline, and F250. The numbers did not just reflect brand loyalty, they tracked the same patterns mechanics see every day. When you break down the reasons behind these votes, 3 things stand out. Parts are easy to get, repairs can be done without a fight, and resale value stays strong. That is the checklist mechanics use when they spend their own money. These polls, run by people who turn wrenches for a living, turn shop floor experience into hard numbers. It is not just talk, it is a consensus you can measure. Tacoma and Tundra owners tend to show up for the same handful of repairs, at the same mileage and with the same outcome. A quick fix and back on the road. In March 2022, a Boise shop logged 5 Tacomas, each with cracked engine mounts, all between 90,000 and 100,000 miles. The failure was not a mystery. The mount cluster on pre-2015 Tacomas is a known weak spot, but the repair runs under $500 and can be handled in a day. That predictability is exactly what mechanics want. No hunting for rare parts, no waiting weeks for a back-ordered bracket. Toyota's recall history backs this up. When frame rust cropped up in early Tacomas, the company launched a nationwide recall and later extended the corrosion warranty to 10 years, covering thousands of trucks that might have otherwise been scrapped. The Tundra's 5.7-litre iForce 5.8 tells a similar story. It is not immune to problems, rear suspension bushings and the occasional radiator crack in models from 2018 to 2020 are the usual suspects, but the fixes are straightforward and parts are everywhere. Many Tundras cross the 400,000 mile mark with only routine maintenance and a few well-documented repairs along the way. For a mechanic, that is the gold standard, a truck that keeps its promises, and if it stumbles, you already know how to make it right. The Honda Ridgeline never wins the parking lot popularity contest. Not a real truck, some say, mostly folks who haven't spent time under one, but ask the techs who keep their own Ridgelines for a decade or more, and the answer sounds different. The unibody design, borrowed from Honda's SUV playbook, means there is no separate frame to rust out. In places like Charlotte, where humidity and road salt eat steel for breakfast, that detail matters. One shop there logged 7 transmission cooler hose leaks on Ridgelines from 2017 to 2018 in just over a year. The fix was a new reinforced hose, a flush and 4 hours labour. No hidden surprises, no catastrophic teardown. Honda even issued a service bulletin in 2018, swapping out the old hoses for silicone sleeved versions and cutting the failure rate by more than half. Mechanics don't care if the Ridgeline looks tough. What they see is a truck that costs about $520 a year to keep on the road, according to RepairPal, less than half the annual bill for most full-size pickups. The ride is quieter, the cabin stays dry, and the underbody doesn't flake away after 5 winters. For techs who value comfort alongside reliability and who want repairs to be routine instead of ruinous, the Ridgeline's logic is hard to beat. The numbers back it up every time the shop doors close. In the diesel world, the Ford F-250 Super Duty with the 6.7-litre Power Stroke engine stands out for one reason. It is a workhorse that keeps showing up for work year after year. Mechanics who run their own fleets have seen these trucks cross 500,000 miles with nothing more than routine oil changes, EGR cooler service, and the occasional injector cup replacement. That kind of longevity is not luck, it is the result of Ford's hard lessons from the troubled 6.0-litre era. The redesign that brought in the 6.7-litre was not just about emissions or torque. Ford's engineers focused on making every common failure point accessible and affordable to fix. High-pressure oil pump gaskets, for example, are now a known service item. In July 2021, a Detroit diesel shop logged 3 F-250 trucks in a single week, all with the same P2-2 generation engine and the same high-pressure oil pump gasket failure at around 115,000 miles. The fix was straightforward: pull the pump, swap the gasket and button it up. Ford even issued a bulletin advising early replacement for the affected batch. Most of the time, predictable issues like EGR cooler leaks or injector cup seals show up right on schedule, and the repair costs are well documented. For a mechanic, that is the difference between a reliable tool and a liability. The F-250's record in municipal and utility fleets, over 1,200 units averaging nearly 500,000 miles, proves that when a diesel is built for the long haul and its weak spots are mapped out, it earns a spot on the shortlist. This is the truck techs keep in their own driveways, not because it is perfect, but because its flaws are manageable and its strengths are proven where it counts. Some trucks set off alarm bells the minute a mechanic hears the engine code. The GM 5.3-litre engine with active fuel management is a classic example. Lifters collapse without warning, often before 100,000 miles, and when they do, the repair bill can top $4,000. That is not just a weekend project, it is a full teardown, a new cam, new lifters and hours of labour. Then there is the Ram 8-speed with the ZF transmission. Owners complain about shuddering and slipping, but the real pain comes when the torque converter fails. That fix averages $2,300, and shops see it so often there are class action lawsuits in the works. Ford and GM 10-speed automatics are not immune either. Lawsuits over rough shifts and sudden failures have piled up, leaving owners in limbo and resale values in freefall. As James Patel, a Colorado shop owner, puts it, "I will not let my family near a truck that can eat $4,000 overnight." predictability matters. When a single breakdown can wipe out your savings, mechanics steer clear. Most truck buyers focus on repairs and maintenance, but the real hit comes from a number few people calculate: depreciation. Over 5 years, the average pickup loses 40 to 50% of its original price. That is not just a spreadsheet problem, it is money gone before you even factor in a single repair. Black Book and Mannheim auction data show the 4 trucks mechanics trust, Tacoma, Tundra, Ridgeline and F250, hold on to 15 to 25% more of their value than the competition. For a Tacoma, that means keeping 61% of its price after 5 years, while rivals like the Colorado or Ram 1500 drop closer to 44%. The Ridgeline and Tundra show the same pattern. Even the F250 in a tough diesel market keeps a stronger resale curve than most. When a truck's weak points are predictable, buyers line up for used models, and that demand keeps values high. In the end, reliability is not just about what breaks, it is about how much of your money stays in your pocket when it is time to move on. Right now, a reliable truck means more than a badge. It's about proven miles, honest repairs, and car costs you can see coming. Mechanics aren't guessing. They're watching which models make it to 400,000 miles without drama. In the end, trust is not a promise, it's a track record.